Welcome to CryptoWise channel where we focus on technical analysis and chart patterns in order to make good decisions in the markets. This is not about hype, this is not about narratives, this is not about news, it's about facts and truth in the charts. The charts always tell us where the price is about to go before it does. There's always a clue, there's always a pattern, there's always something in the chart that tell us where the price is going to go. Nothing should be shocking or surprising if you understand how to read technical analysis in cryptocurrency market. So my focus here in this channel is to educate, to share my knowledge and wisdom in the crypto market so that people can make wiser decisions, right? And the idea is obviously in spot trading, buying at the lows and selling around at the top. I do believe in the 4-year cycle, and this is part of what I am using as my macro analysis to make calls in the short term, like this move here, or this recent move that we've had down there, and also in the longer term when we get these 1-year bear markets, right? And I really want to drive the point home that technical analysis is far superior than narratives, than fundamentals, than hype, than these kinds of things. And that's why I make decisions, buying decisions based on what the price is doing, and what forms prior to moves. There's sometimes confluence factors that make things even way more probabilistic that we're going to see a move to the upside or the downside or whichever on a larger time frame or on a shorter time frame. So I have recently made calls when the price here was at 23,000 and the price looked like this and we couldn't see any further. And I said that the Bitcoin price had bottomed, right? And I made that call when the price was there back in the start of the year. I think it might have been February 2023, of the start of 2023. And I had talked about how the price had bottomed from this downtrend, which was our 1-year bear market that we had from the cycle peak in 2021 to the cycle low in 2022. And we basically went up from there, right? I also made a call when the price was over here floating around this consolidation, this channel formation here. And I think it might have been August or no, maybe it was July. I don't remember when. It would have been probably around September, I think. Prior to the price breaking out, I had talked about this cup and handle pattern. And this cup and handle pattern is a technical chart pattern that we can use to detect targets of where the price would go. Here's the cup, here's the handle, right? And I talked about the price going to 125K. And I even mentioned in this video that this is a potential cycle top. And I mentioned that it would be a reasonable one as well. And it looks like we hit, actually if I look at the candle properly, the high was exactly $126,230 for Bitcoin, US dollars for Bitcoin on the on this particular chart. Yeah, Bitcoin against the US dollar. So my call of 125K was off by just over $1,000, $1,230. That's extremely close, right? And that measurement was just something I got from reading the charts. You know, it's not magical. This is what I'm getting at. Everything is readable in the charts. Price targets, right? Where the price could go to, right? And also in any directions, to the downside or the upside. So if you understand how to read the markets, read the charts, you can make better assessments on when is a good time to sell and when is a good time to buy, and you can maximize these potential moves that you see here and hold for 3 years, and you can sell at top, wait for the bear market to come down and buy again, right? Now, yeah, so I'm not here to dish out certainty. I'm here to help with highest probability setups, okay? I know that there always is a possibility that what I am talking about may not happen, and this is why we can go over invalidations as well. it's always important to look at invalidations. So right now, it's very clear that we're in a bear market. Okay, I'll show you why the 50 EMA on the weekly time frame has broken. And there's a few things that we can look at that that tell us that once we break this 50 EMA, that we're likely to that the bear market has started, basically. So we can see in the cycle of 2020 of the 2020 bull market cycle, so not the current one that we're in, but 4 years prior, over here, when we topped in 2021, when we broke the 50 EMA, we went through a sideways consolidation. We had a small peak above, which could be considered deviation or a back test of the 50 EMA, and then we went into a larger downtrend. In this cycle over here from the 2017 top, when we broke it, which I would consider that it being properly broken here, we had a similar thing. We had a back test, which was deviation. We ended up getting consolidating below the 50 EMA, and then we broke lower, right? And then another 4 years prior to that, when we officially broke it, was here, the 50 EMA. So we're on the weekly time frame. By the way, every candle is 1 week of time, right? When we broke the 50 EMA here on the weekly time frame, we went into a larger leg down. Bitcoin always does these 3 wave moves: 1, 2, 3, bear market bottom. 1, 2, 3, bear market bottom. 1, 2, 3, bear market bottom. Third leg's always more aggressive, and look where we're at now, right? It's potential 1, 2, and then whoop, right into this box. Potentially that is my target zone for the bear market bottom. So here we have the same thing repeating. The same thing that's been repeating for the past 3 cycles now. We have it happening a 4th time, where this uptrend since the bear market lows in 2022, where I had made this call, which by the way, I'll make a separate video of these calls that I made, so I can put it out there and show you guys that I'm not just making this shit up. And hopefully that'll help give you guys some confidence that we can all learn and be more confident in the crypto market and not get subdued by fear, greed, and other emotional factors that'll keep us in indecision mode or not understanding what's going on and what's happening, right? So from this low here that we had in 2022, we had a 3-year run up, and we can see that this 50 EMA did act as support. Not perfect support, but it did act as support. We broke above, we've had some support here, and then we had some support here, but we kind of broke below it a little bit, came back above, back test, and then we kept going. So when the price is above the 50 EMA, it's usually bullish, and it usually keeps going. We had a back test here in April 2025, and then we had another run up. Then this was the top here so far. Finally broke the 50 EMA, which is the first bear market signal. We've had almost 2-month consolidation approximately, and then we had a back test 50 EMA, and then we went lower. Very common to see back tests. So if we're above the 50 EMA, then that tells us that the trend is up, the trend is bullish. It's one indicator that we can use to give us confidence that the trend is bullish. Once we break it, then that is an indicator that the trend is bearish. So, which signals that this 3-year uptrend has basically flipped into a downtrend, right? And not only that, but we've had a back test and confirmation, lower. So this is basically a confirmation at this point that we are in a bear market. We're in a bear trend, and based on these factors, I don't see that I don't see how we're gonna actually go up. And there's other factors as well too. If we look at the 2 weekly, we can see that using this as well, every time we had a 2 weekly candle close, every time we had a 2 weekly candle close below the 50 EMA on the 2 weekly time frame, we can see here, right? We just closed one last Sunday, and we're now on this green candle here, and that's not closed yet. There's still 2 weeks before. It could end up lower, it could end up higher, but every time we closed it, Here, red candle below the blue line. That's the 50 EMA. The following candles down. Red candle below the blue line. Price went lower. Just clean these up here. And then we have candle close below the blue line. Big capitulation. And then we spent a lot of time down here before we went back up. This was a period of like, I think 6 or 8 months. So basically, this is more evidence showing us in cycles that we are in a bear market, right? And the signal that we would be actually not in a bear market anymore would be that if we broke back above it, this 50 EMA. So according to previous history, the next following few candles on the 2-weekly time frame should be red or bearish. We should turn into a more of a capitulation sort of phase here. Right, and this is what is expected based on previous history. So it's very, very possible that we see these targets down here, right? And maybe I'll reveal that for another video. Well, let's just see. Yeah, let's go for it. So targets. It's very possible that we see the price down there reach a 50%, 57% move from that blue line. So let's look at the combinations here. We had a 57% collapse from that blue line to the bottom. On the previous cycle, we had a 46% collapse from that blue line to the bottom, which is that 50 EMA on the 2-weekly time frame. And then over here, we've had a 55% dump from that blue line to the bottom. That, on average, would give us at least a that's 55, 55, let's call it 55, 55, and 45. So what, 52.5% approximately of a move down if we average the previous three. 52% would give us a $40,000 Bitcoin. My target is anywhere in this box for the bear market low, and it's going to take some time for it to get there. Nothing goes down in a straight line, so everyone just needs to relax and breathe. If you're looking to buy, I don't know why anyone would want to buy right now, unless, you know, some people might have DCA strategies, which I totally respect. So never mind what I just said. I understand why people want to buy on the way down. But what I just want to drive home is you don't need to buy on the way down if there's a lot of confluence factors saying that we're going to be a while. And when we turn a macro trend bearish, it takes a while for the trend to flip the other direction. It doesn't just flip, you know, a day later. There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of emotion in the crypto market, and I think that we can just breathe here and observe and relax and not do things, not react out of fear and emotion, and take into account a lot of these macro factors before we can make wise decisions in the market. So we can see this play out again. This, by the way, is the highest probability because it happened once, twice, 3 times. The last 3, and these were over the same time periods. These are 4 years apart. That's 3 times it happened. That's 100% probability right now that we're going to see a move like that again. Now, it's not guaranteed, but it's definitely, I should say, sorry, I'm not sure what I said there, but if I said 100% probability that's going to get down there, that's not what I mean to say. I didn't mean to say that. What I mean to say is, according to previous history, we've had this play out 100% of the time. So forgive me if that's not what I said. That means that there is a very high probability that it's going to happen again. It's not guaranteed. It's not 100%, okay, because this pattern can change also. But if it happened 3 times in a row and the setup looks very similar, time frame wise, structure wise, percentage wise, it just makes sense that we see that happen again, right? I give it an 80 to 90% probability that we see this price in this window, and even in the lower end of this window, at the end of the bear market, which takes a while. So hopefully you find this educational. Hopefully you find this helpful. If you guys are, if this is your kind of material, please subscribe. Send me a like. Um, you know, whether you're doing it to support the channel or support, um, if you like it, great. Um, I know sometimes people do likes. They try to force likes and stuff like that. Like, like it if you want to like it. Share it if you want to share it. If it's helpful for you, then I'm sure that that you have your reasons to like or subscribe or to share the video. Okay. Um, more videos to come. Appreciate you guys, and hopefully this is helpful. All right. Peace.